Hey guys, Jason here. I'm going to be introducing the GM 2017 gear. So I'm going to wait for a few of you just to get on there. If you have any questions, please pop them below. I'm going to try and go sort of with the questions and stuff. If you got any questions down below, hey Bilal, what's up? And I will sort you guys out there. Okay, so we got 7 or 8 viewers. So yeah, so I'm going to be talking about some of the new GM stuff. I've got a lot of the 2017 gear here. One of the cool things too is that all of this gear is going to be for sale. Hey Shatragan, hope I pronounced your name right. Looks like we're getting lots of likes and stuff already. So I'm just going to give it a couple more minutes. We've also got some the 2017 bats as well. So going to be going through the full range and stuff here for you guys. So that's pretty cool. So yeah. All right, I guess we've got quite a few viewers. We are going to put this on YouTube as well, and we'll upload it here to the Facebook video as well after we're finished talking. I don't see this taking more than 5 or 10, maybe 20 minutes. I'm going to get through it all for you. As you know, once again, Cricket Store Online. Thanks, Shatragan, for letting me know that I pronounced your name right. As you know, Cricket Store Online, we're going to be the biggest and best cricket store in the United States. We've been around since 2010. Been serving thousands and thousands and thousands of customers over the years, and we're going to keep on doing that. Thanks, Bilal. And what we're going to do, we've got quite a few viewers now, so we're going to get started. I'm going to start with the batting gloves first. Let me just have a look at the book here real quick. See if we've got any good information here for you on the gloves. So obviously there's quite a few gloves available. I'm just gonna talk about a few of them. This is for the 2017 season. The GM gear, as far as gloves are concerned, are really nice and simple. There's not 12 different ranges of gloves. There's one range, and essentially follows the same numbering as the cricket bats. So you get a 101 glove, a 202 glove, 303 glove, 404, 505, 606, 808, 909, 808 LE, original and original LE. Same as the bats, which keeps it nice and simple, especially for you guys as well. Once again, the GM 606 range for 2017 is going to be your best value for money. Let me see what I've got here for you guys. What I've got here to show you is the 505 glove. So this is actually quite a cool glove. It's pre-molded. This is the 505 though, so you still get a nice leather palm on that. And this is quite a good solid club glove. And so the only with this being the cheaper glove, this is a 505, so you're probably looking at about $39.99. It is just a little bit stiff on the fingers, and it'll be pretty hard to sort of bend that any further than it is already. But at about $39.99, it does have a dual pad or slit in the thumb there, so you get quite a decent level of flexibility on the thumb. Like I said, you get the full leather in the palm, and you get the little scuff protection on the tip there. When you pick up the ball and it scuffs the tip of your glove, you've got that, and then you've got some nice separation. So nice flexibility at the top of the hand, but the bottom of the hand is still a little bit stiff. So that's the 505 glove you're going to be looking. It's pretty cool in this bright orange color, and that's going to be around the $39.99 mark for the 2017 season. Just to show you a picture of what the 606 glove will look like I was talking about. That's the 606 glove there, and this one is it's going to be around the $49.99 mark, and you've got nice flexibility in the fingers. That'll be my pick of top GM selling glove for 2017. The 606 range is always an amazing quality, amazing value for money, and very, very cool glove. So then I'm going to move on to here, the GM original glove. This is the original glove. So this is what the 606 is sort of modeled after. And so what you'll see there, that's what the 606 looks like, and that's what the original looks like. So what you got here is a shark tooth design right here. So that's it gives you not only great flexibility, but it gives you extra protection, because you see right there, you don't have the shark tooth design, which gives you great flexibility, but leaves you slightly in trouble if the ball hits you, whacks you right on that spot. But the shark tooth design sort of alleviates that problem. So that's very, very cool. You've got extra protection inside all the fingers on the original glove, and then you've got this nice V design at the top of the hand, which gives you good flexibility as well. The original glove, see those little yellow dots there? That's their impact absorption material, which is very cool, because basically what happens is it's soft, but when the ball hits it really hard, it actually gets hard, and it changes its structure. So that's very cool. And then you've got the same double design, double cut split, and you've actually got extra padding on there as well. So, and then with the soft leather palms, you also get a bit of abrasion protection there. This is a part of the glove that you're holding on the bat, and it tends to wear down, so you've got a double piece of leather over there, which is very cool. And on the inside here, where the bat tends to jar against your hand, you've got some foam padding inside there as well. So that's a quick look for you at the GM Original. What's up, Mr. Blackledge? How you doing? I see you over there. So let's get those out of the way, and then we go to top of the line. That's the GM Original LE glove, and let me put that on for you. A couple of different features here. This is a little bit lighter than the original. Kind of felt like it anyway. I didn't put it on a scale, but what you've got here is extra. Here you've got that yellow absorption material inside there as well, and on top of the extra protection. And so this is the sort of traditional looking glove. GM have had this design now for quite a few years, but a top glove. And you'll see on the palm, you've actually got a pitted leather. Now the pitted leather is basically, it's a treated leather. It shouldn't get hard, and it's going to get rid of sweat and moisture as well. So that's why this is going to be, this is a little bit more expensive glove. You've got the abrasion protection right there again. You've got the foam insert for the jarring of the bat, and just a excellent glove. It's not the most flexible, but it is the highest protection. So that's sort of what you what you gain in one area, you lose in another area. Pretty much the laws of physics. So that's the GM Original glove there for you. A very cool looking glove. And these will retail. The originals will be, I believe, probably around the $80 range. And these will be around the $100, $120 range. So top of the line glove. Really well made, and excellent quality product. I actually batted with a set of these last year, and very, very happy with them. Moving on to now, what we've got here is a couple pairs of the GM. This is the GM Original Wicket Keeper glove, and a really high quality set of gloves. The leather on the back here is so soft and supple, it's just incredible. You've got some, obviously you've got your extra protection in the fingertips with the foam padding on the inside. Same thing on the thumb there, and then you get this nice lightweight T design to catch the ball really nicely. It says Original on there. And what you got here is a longer cuff on this one. So the longer cuff gives you a little bit more protection in your forearm, and there's actually some cane inserts there as well. So you've got some high density foam with cane inserts, and it gives you some decent protection. It's a little bit longer as well than the shorty that I'm going to show you next. And then pretty standard for all Wicket Keeper gloves these days is you got this sort of octopus grip design with the gel sort of lining. And a lot of people regularly complain to me that the Wicket Keeper gloves don't have sufficient padding. That is just how it is. You don't get a glove with more padding. There isn't a glove on the market that I've seen that's got more padding than this. They're all pretty standard, and Wicket Keepers need to be a little bit hardcore, and they can expect their hands to hurt if they're not catching the ball properly, which is normally the case. The palms of their hands will hurt. The Wicket Keepers regularly break their fingers. It's just part of being a wicket keeper in cricket. It is what it is. Suck it up, buttercup. So that's the Original super software gloves. a pair of gloves, you can wear these straight out of the box, and they're going to perform excellently for you. Moving on for 2017, this is the GM Original. Let me grab those again for you real quick. So you'll see here in the design, this is the original, this is the original LE. So this one is a little bit shorter, and so they call this a shorty. And essentially what you have here is you have the rounded shorty design. This is just foam and leather. There's no cane there. It's a little bit less protection, but it's a little bit more comfortable. And as far as the glove itself is concerned, it's very much the same design as the original. You've got the padded tips with foam inserts. You've got the teacup. You've got the octopus grip with a very similar amount of padding and the same gel lining. The main difference here being it's a lighter glove. This is what your professionals are going to be wearing, and it's an exceptional glove. Really, really cool glove. So that's the original LE. Let me have a little sip of coffee real quick. Moving on, I've got a couple sets of pads here to show you. Start with this one really quickly. This is the new GM Shin Guard. Now, this is the exact same shin guard that Kookaburra came out with last year. GM have that same design, and this is for your close-in fielders. You could, as a wicket keeper, wear these, but I don't recommend these. It's going to go under your pants, and basically for your close-in fielders, silly mid on, silly mid off, that kind of thing. You could wear these, and it's just a super light double strap design. Slips on really, really easy, really quickly. Not a massive amount of protection, but as a close-in fielder, it's going to work just great for you. So that's coming as well for 2017. And moving on to this is the GM Original batting pad, and the main feature here is you've got a high density foam. The benefit of a high density foam is that it's a little bit lighter, but essentially the pad is the same as it's been now for quite a few years. There's no real design or upgrade or new technologies or anything like that going into these pads these days. You essentially just got neaten up with the colors, and it's the same pad as last year. There's some aesthetics that are slightly different. You got the Poron XD, which is that yellow material. Apparently you got that here in the impact zone somewhere, probably behind that cup. That's so that if the ball hits you on the knee, it doesn't hurt. I don't really recall ever wearing a GM set of pads anyway that did hurt when I got hit on them. So that's the GM Originals. You got that light blue color as their color for 2017. Then we've got slightly heavier pad, but a more expensive pad. This is the GM Original LE. This is what the GM players will wear in test match cricket. And so what you've got here is you've got a similar pad to the original, but you've got cane inserts. And if you've watched my video before on when I cut open the set of pads, basically the cane insert just goes over the foam to give you a little bit more protection. And then essentially the rest of the pad, you've got a nice white and silver color on this pad. This is your traditional design, and overall pretty slick looking pads. And these will sell well, especially for the more traditional kind of guys. Right, one more sip of coffee, and then we're going to move on to the bats. If you guys have got any questions, feel free to chuck them down below. Let me know what you're thinking. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer anything for you. So, moving on, we're going to show you first look at the 2017 GM Paragon. There's no changes in the Paragon 2016 to 17, excepting the stickers. As you know, this is a 909. So that's a very nice 909 I've got here. These bats are all for sale, so jump on our live chat if you see something here that you're looking at. I mean, this is a entry-level grade 1. The grains are a little bit squiggly, but there's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 grains on it. So that's a nice Paragon. However, I'm not a fan of the Paragon. This is the highest sweet spot out of the GM bats, which is not ideal, I feel, for the American wickets. American Canadian wickets tend to be a little bit, most of them are concrete. You'd think concrete would bounce higher, but it's actually not the case. It's quite low, and quite a thin toe. That is it's less than an inch. It's probably 1 centimeter. It's a thin toe, and I think with the high sweet spot thin toe, you're probably going to get some damage down there, which, you know, it's got a lot to do with the ball and stuff, but that is design-wise, I don't think a great idea. It's quite thin. So I saw last year quite a few Paragons did break down the toe. But if you need a high sweet spot bat, if you're playing all day long on the back foot, then the Paragon might be for you. It's just not for me. So that's the Paragon. The stickers do look pretty cool this year with the black. You're going to see that's going to come up on TV really nicely. Pictures, stuff like that. It's going to look very cool. So super high sweet spot. That's the Paragon. And this is the, let me just touch on it now as well. This is the L555. Let me just confirm that. Yep, L555. Essentially what that, with that L-Suite technology, it's essentially your L555 is a traditional bat. So you've got your normal length handle and the 555 length blade. So that's going to come more into play here in a little bit when I get down to the some of the other bats. So just remember, the L555 doesn't mean anything excepting traditional length bat. All right, so moving on, and this is the ST30, the Sarah Taylor 30, and this looks quite a lot like last year's GM Mogul. You've got thinner up here at the handle. You got you got your sweet spot. It's quite a long, pronounced sweet spot, but you got the change. You can see there. It's quite big here, and then it's quite thin at the top. So you got all the meat in the sweet spot. The toe on this bat is a little bit thin, but obviously with it being a Sarah Taylor or a woman's bat, if you see there, it says woman's. It needs to be a little bit lighter. So the bats are obviously going to be a bit thinner. The cool stickers is obviously your black with yellow, which looks pretty nice. And let me just say one thing about this bat, and the size is actually pretty cool. If you're under 5'5", 5'4", one of the shorter guys, you might want to pick yourself up one of these ST30s. And the reason is that this blade is the same length as the GM Mana blade, which is a tiny bit shorter, the GM Mana being the 540. So the 540 just a little bit shorter than the 555. And what the cool thing is it's a super short handle. So let me show you. This is the Mana over here. So the blades are the same length, but the ST30's got a super short handle. So same size blade as the Mana, super short handle, which means the bats are going to be great for someone who's a little shorter. And then if you're particularly like a super short handle, the ST30 might be for you. So that's sort of medium position sweet spot on the scale of GM bats. ST30 is right about the middle, so it's not the lowest sweet spot, not the highest sweet spot. So you could call it a hybrid. So that's going to be a pretty cool bat for 2017. Then going on to the Mana, which is the same bat as 2016. You've just got the upgraded stickers. What you got there is a medium position sweet spot, much more pronounced than the ST30. You would have seen that. Much more pronounced, nice big edges, quite a full profile, but a little bit of concaving. Slightly thinner toe. I wish it had a thicker toe, but that's to get the weight down. And when you got that super high sweet spot, you need to get the meat from somewhere. So similar to the ST30, just a little bit more pronounced, medium sweet spot. And obviously all the GMs come with dynamic grips these days, and they've also got the Totec dry guard, so that the bottom of the bat doesn't swell in the moisture. But overall, I actually used this bat in a couple of games last year, and it went very well. I just preferred something with a slightly lower sweet spot, and we're going to get to my favorite bat in just a second. So moving on, this is the Neon. Now the Neon is one of the higher sweet spot bats, but what you see there is got a nice offset edge. So the edge is lower than the sweet spot is, which what basically they're doing is they're stretching the sweet spot a little bit further down. So having a high sweet spot but lower edge, so which means that the sweet spot is a touch lower. And quite a nice bat, a little bit high for me. If you don't want to go as high as the Paragon as far as sweet spot concerned, you can go for this one. The nice thing with this one is the toe is a little bit thicker, which is going to give you more strength. and it doesn't have too much concaving. It's actually relatively nice as far as the concaving is concerned. The big thing with this bat, this is a neon limited edition, so that willow is just gorgeous. Remember, this bat is for sale. Let me show you here real quick what's happening with the neon. It's a little bit more aggressive. You put the toes together, and what you got there, the neon is a 540. There we go. So the blade is a little bit shorter. The handles are the same. But so what you got here, this is the neon. It's the 540 length, and so it's a little bit shorter. The neon and the Mana are the same length. So if you used a Mana last year, but you want something with a higher sweet spot, then the neon might be for you. So what they've done there is they've just taken a tiny bit of wood away from there, which means they can put it right there in the meat where you want it. That's a waste of wood up there anyway. No one needs it. No one uses it. And so what you've got on this bat too is nice big edges. So that's the neon. Then we're going to chrome. Let me turn over here real quick. Come on. Chrome. So the chrome is back to your traditional length. It's the L555. This is a new bat for 2017. This is the Chrome Signature, and this is a middle of the range bat. As far as the chrome is concerned, it's a grade 2. This is their grade 2 model, and quite a nice piece of wood. Traditional length, and what you got. This is very much like the GM Mogul. So close, in fact, I would say that it's just a rebranded Mogul. It's very, very similar. Let me see what we've got. A couple questions here. There we go. To Bianco Blom has asked me, which bat would you prefer for opening the innings? Bianco, it's very much what kind of wickets you play on. If they're lower, bowlers do tend to be a little bit quicker when you're opening, so you want something with a slightly higher sweet spot. So I would maybe go for the neon or the chrome. Then let me see here. Next, Iqbal Syed, entry level grade 1. How many levels are there in a particular grade? Don't think we can differentiate. Iqbal, with GM bats, they start at 101 and they go up to original LE. I would say an entry level bat, you want to be at about a 404, maybe even a 606. That's where you're going to be getting really good value for money. But if you got the money, go for a signature or a 909. See what else we got here. Bilal, prices are the same. Prices are going to be the same as the last couple of years. Cricket gear, with us here in the States, the prices don't fluctuate. So a 101 is going to be $50. 303 is going to be $100, $120. A 404 is going to be $150. A 909 is going to be, or an 808 was around $290. So the prices all stay the same. Originals are, $4.99. LEs are $5.99, $6.99. So the prices are all the same. So that hasn't changed. Sam Ryan, the player editions will be here in December. And all of these bats are available right now to purchase. You can pre-order ones that we don't have here in stock, and they'll be here in December. So head over to www.cricketstoreonline.com and get your orders in. We'll get you some cool stuff. Lions Kazi 11's Cricket Club. Knocking in just takes a couple of days. We have two knocking in machines now, and we can get it done for you quick. Shoaib Mamanji, jump onto the live chat on our website, and we can discuss what weights and stuff like that we have for you. So super excited to get all these sold and get these shipped out to you guys. You'll be the first in the US to have any of this GM cricket gear, so that'll be pretty cool. So I think that's about it for the GM Chrome. We've got one more bat, which is going to be my pick for the year. Srikanth MRF Kohli edition. Jump on the live chat. We'll be able to help you out. So now getting to my number one pick for the 2017 season. Let me wet my whistle a bit. And this is going to be, I think, the top-selling GM bat for 2017 in the United States and Canada. It is the GM Kaha. So the GM Kaha is the black and white stickers, and the big reason it's going to be the top seller is because you guys are super aggressive batsmen. And what you need for a super aggressive batsman is a super aggressive bat. A couple of reasons why this is the most aggressive bat. This is a low sweet spot. It's not, let me see as far as the scale. This is the lowest sweet spot. So this could essentially be taking the place of the GM Octane, which is no longer available. You've got your lowest sweet spot, GM Octane or GM Maxi. It might even be a mixture of the two. Lowest sweet spot, big edges. These edges are going to push 38 millimeters plus. Very exciting bat. You've got a nice, thick, strong toe. You've got the spine that goes down into the toe there, which gives it extra strength. The edges stay nice and thick all the way down into the toe. You've obviously got your toe guard pre-installed, and not much concaving either. So what you've got there is a really nice wide sweet spot, a nice big fat edge, a thick toe, and for the guys in the US, you guys know that you want a strong bat. GM bats are pre-knocked, so they're nice and strong as well. But as always, the edges and the toe do still need to be knocked in, and we obviously do offer that service as well. We will put it through our knocking machine for you if you want, and we'll get all the edges done. Now, the most striking feature, and this is what's going to have people split on the fence as to whether they're going to buy the Kaha or not. So let me show you. Now remember, the Neon and the Mana had the 540 blade, which is just 15 mils shorter than the 555 traditional. Now the Kaha is a 525 blade, so it's another 15 mils off the bat at the shoulders. So obviously the bats are the same length, but you're taking off more weight that's not needed, and you're putting it right there to make that sweet spot nice and fat. So the only complaint I would have about this bat, if there is one, is that the bow, the face doesn't have any bow. All of these faces are the 4.5 face, but there's no, I like a bit of bow in my bats, but the reason that they've kept that straight is so that they can keep that bat and that profile nice and fat. So I'm just about to wrap up. The balance of the Kaha is actually quite good. There's another question there from Shishir, and the balance is actually quite good, and you can make it better by adding more grips onto the top. So these handles are a little bit thicker than they've been in the past. They've been a little bit thin in the past if you watched any of my reviews, but these are actually, they feel pretty good. And so you could easily add another grip, or even add a counterbalance weight on the top, and that's going to improve the balance of any of these bats. They're actually all pretty good. The quality is incredible, and the balance is going to be good. If you like a bat that feels the weight, this is not going to be super light as in balance weight. You want a little bit of weight to clear the boundaries. With it being a lower sweet spot, it's gonna, if you get a 210, it's going to feel 210. It's not going to feel 28. And if anyone tells you otherwise, I think they're BSing you. To Stratagon, I've actually shown the Mana already, but I'm happy to show it to you again. This is the Mana. Very cool bat. Same as last year. Might even have a slightly higher spine, but that's the Mana for you. It looks very, very cool. And I think that's about it. I'm going to reload all of these, but once again, my pick for 2017, which is going to be smashing boundaries all over the country, is the GM Kaha, available. This is the limited edition. Very cool bat. This one's around 210 if you want to buy it. So thanks for watching. Head to cricketstoreonline.com if you want to. All of these bats, all of these pads with Hibby gear is for sale. So hit us up on our live chat on our website. We'll sort you out with that. The bats are all available as well. Sign up for our newsletter if you want to stay updated as to when we get our stock in. So head to cricketstoreonline.com. Sign up for that newsletter. Jump on live chat if you have any questions. We have some bags in stock as well, and some other goodies. So looking forward to catching up with you guys, and talk to you again soon. Cheers.